I love the smell of fresh wood glue in the morning. This is the story of my return to a passion that ended 40 years ago. When I was in high school, I spent 2 years in the wood shop and produced a few pieces that have withstood the test of time that my children and grandchild still use to this day. The piece that I'm making in this video is for my wife's birthday, and it's the first item I'm creating that I would not consider shop furniture. The dream of having a woodworking shop has taken me a year to fulfill to this point. I figured a bandsaw jewelry box is as good as any of a project to start with. Oops, got a clamp dent. I gotta use more backer boards. My life has taken a few twists along the way. Right out of high school in the early 80s, jobs were scarce, so you took advantage of whatever came along. I ended up as an automotive body mechanic and refinisher. Don't get me wrong, a noble profession that was actually quite artistic, but it was not woodworking. I soon realized that that trade was hard on your body, and I got out after 20 years. Next up, as a career move for me, was into the field of emergency response. I had a full-time position as an industrial firefighter, a part-time position as a municipal paramedic, was very involved with the volunteer fire department, and ran my own business. This is where the big problems began for me. You simply cannot say yes to everything and keep all the personal mental issues to yourself. The analogy I like to use is the invisible backpack. Every time you have to deal with an unpleasant situation that most people should never have to deal with, it gets added to your backpack. Any of those single events may not have an immediate effect, but eventually that backpack gets too heavy, even for the strongest person to carry. A significant injury while on a rescue mission that would affect me for the rest of my life did not help. Life just did not seem that important anymore. The line between right and wrong got very fuzzy to me. Look at me. I learned. I've got backer boards. I admit, I hate gluing. I get more on my hands than I do on the wood. It took just one person to listen and understand, with no judgments, that provided a perspective that was missing to me. It has now been 5 years since that turning point, and I'm happy to report that we are happily married. So don't attempt this maneuver at home, boys and girls. I was trying to round off the corners here so I can turn the knobs on the lathe a little bit easier and cut down. So why the decision to return to woodworking, you may ask? Well, my son is a carpenter, and I see the passion that he has for the trade, a passion that I remember from 40 years ago. I've spent the past year putting together a small but cozy woodworking shop that has been nothing but great therapy for me. As I headed into the retirement phase of my life, I'd like to share some of the adventures of Therapy WoodWorks with you all. If you ever get the opportunity to hug a paramedic or a firefighter for no special reason, do it. We all carry that invisible backpack.
That's so cool. Wait, not just a box, it's like a little